My voice clear to everyone? Just give me a second. So, first of all, I'll introduce myself. I'm here to learn about Salesforce, right? But before directly jumping into the concepts of Salesforce, it's better to understand the concepts of cloud computing because Salesforce runs on that concept, right? So as you can see, the first slide, it says cloud computing is the future of technology. So everything in future will happen on the cloud. Any technology will be developed on the cloud platform. Okay. So what is a general definition of cloud computing? A general definition of cloud computing is nothing but developing a service, delivering a service, or using a service over the internet. So the crucial factor here is the internet. So if there is no internet, there is no cloud computing. So everything happens over the internet. So I'll give you a general example, the difference between a traditional system and a cloud computing system. Traditional system is a system where you have to maintain everything on premises. That means, say if you consider SAP, if you want to install SAP, what happens? You need to buy the software, install it on your system. You have to maintain 4 GB of RAM, 500 GB of hard drive. Later, where shared resources, which can be the hardware, the software, and the information. Information is nothing but the data that you store on your hard drive in a traditional system is also not stored on your hard drive in a cloud computing system. Everything is provided to your computer as a service over the internet. Okay. So now coming to the term service, what do you mean by service? Service is nothing but on demand, on rental basis, on a subscription basis. Unlike in a traditional system, you don't have to buy anything. You will only subscribe for services, and when you don't want to use those services, you will stop paying for the services. It's like your prepaid mobile. Okay. So what are the simplest examples of cloud computing are your everyday applications like Facebook, Gmail, Flickr. Any internet-based application is an example of cloud computing application, because as you know, these are not installed on your system. You can access any system, anytime, anywhere in the world, provide the ID and password, and you can access this, right? Similarly, cloud computing applications are also available just as these applications. They are not system specific or location specific. Again, I'll compare with a traditional system. In a traditional system, if you install SAP in your laptop, you have to carry your laptop everywhere you go, right? If you want to work on it. But in cloud computing or Salesforce, I won't bother about my system. Today I'll work from my home. Tomorrow I'll go to some other country, go to an internet cafe, provide the ID and password, and I'll be able to access my applications on the web. So that is nothing but that's the simplicity of cloud computing. It is location and device independent. Okay. So how was life before cloud computing was introduced? As I've been telling you, you have to maintain the whole system, the hardware infrastructure. There should be a team of data security engineers. There should be a hardware engineers. There's a power consumption. So it becomes complicated and expensive infrastructure in the traditional systems. But once cloud computing has been introduced, you are not going to manage any hardware or software. Everything is managed by third-party vendors like Google, Amazon, Microsoft, and Salesforce. These are the major vendors of cloud computing services. For your information, there are more than 114 cloud computing vendors across the world. But these are the most famous among them. Okay. So we are going to deal with Salesforce in specific from the later slides. Okay. And they all provide the storage power, the processing power, the applications that are needed to run your business. Okay. Again, comparing a traditional system and a cloud computing system, as I've been telling you, what happens in a traditional system is the company spend a lot of budget and effort on the maintenance of the infrastructure, because they have to maintain the hardware, the software, the networks, and all those things, and they spend very little time on the actual development or the innovation of the product. Okay, but coming to a cloud computing system, because everything is maintained by a third-party vendor like Salesforce, Google, or Amazon, okay, companies can spend all that budget and effort and concentration on the actual development or the innovation of the product. Okay, and another advantage of cloud computing is just not your laptops or desktops that can access your applications. Even your smartphones and tablets can access cloud-based applications, which is not possible in a traditional system like SAP or any other system. Right? If you have a proper internet connection on your mobile device or tablets, you can access the applications that you have developed on your laptops or desktops can be accessed on your mobile devices as well. Now coming to the most important slide, which is the types of cloud services. So most importantly, there are three types of cloud services available in the market. The first one is the infrastructure, platform, and software. And they all come to you as a service. AA is nothing but as a service. So I told you the meaning of service in the first slide, right? On a subscription basis, on a prepaid basis, on a on-demand basis, when and where you want, as long as you want. Okay? But during this course, we are not going to deal with infrastructure as a service, because Salesforce doesn't deal with infrastructure as a service. It has its own infrastructure, but it doesn't rent it out. Okay. So we are going to spend a lot of time on the platform as a service, which is called the Forge.com platform, which is one of the most powerful cloud-based platforms available right now in the market, on which you can develop any kind of application. There's no restriction. You cannot say this cannot be developed on this Forge.com platform. Everything can be developed. Okay. And we are also going to spend a lot of time on the software as a service, which is called the Salesforce CRM. So as you know, there are a lot of CRMs in the market. SAP CRM, Salesforce CRM, Zoho CRM, Sugar CRM. They are all ready-made applications that are useful for sales, marketing, and service industry people. So Salesforce has also developed this CRM using the same platform. So it's a ready-made application. But if you want to do any customization, you can do on it. Okay. And very recently, Salesforce has it has overtook all the other CRMs in the market. It's right now, Salesforce CRM is the #1 CRM in the world. Okay. So we are going to spend a lot of time on the platform and the software. Okay. Now coming to the benefits of cloud computing, as you can see, the first one, as I've been telling you, pay as you use, so on a rental basis, on a prepaid basis. Okay. You have lower TCO and lower cap. TCO is nothing but total cost of ownership. So as you're not going to maintain any infrastructure or anything, it's low. There's very little expenditure, right? Then you have the reliability and the sustainability. Okay, but what is scalability? So, say for example, you have developed an application, and instantly, then later the client says, no, I want the application to be scaled up. So that means scaled up in the sense increase the functionalities to the existing application. Example about scalability. You can also say, for example, in a traditional system, you have 500 GB of space on your hard drive, and you want to increase it to 1 TB. What do? You have to go to the market, buy the hard drive, install it. So it's a time-taking process. But in Salesforce, I'll just call Salesforce, okay, and say that I'm subscribed to 500, increase it to 1 TB. I'm going to pay for the services, and in matter of minutes, it is scaled up. Your storage capacity is scaled up. So it's not just scaling up, scaling down as well. Okay, so that is one of the advantages. There's a different. There's a slide for secure storage management. Okay, which I'll show you later. Frees up internal resources. So obviously, because you're not maintaining an infrastructure, it will freeze up all your internal resources. Cloud computing applications are all highly automated. So there's a slide for this as well, and slide for this later. Okay. And another most important advantage is the easy and agile deployment. So agile is one of the what we call a software development lifecycle processes that cloud computing follows. So for which of the software development lifecycle process that is followed by cloud computing applications. That means you don't have to wait for one complete lifecycle to be completed to add new features. You can keep on adding new additional requirements as and when you want. So that is one of the uh, SDLC process followed by cloud computing, which will be explained in detail in the regular classes. Okay. So anything that is being shown or mentioned on these slides will be explained in detail in the regular classes. Okay. Then, as I told you, cloud computing is device and location independent. I don't have to carry my laptop or my system anywhere I go. I can travel anywhere, anytime, and have access to the internet connection, provide my ID and password, and I will be able to access my applications that are already available, or I can also develop the application where I left. Okay, anything, developing or using any from any device, anytime. Okay, and there is a 24/7 support to the developers and to the end users provided by cloud computing service providers. Okay. Now coming to Salesforce in specific, as you can see their motto: no hardware, no software, no headaches, right? And it's a software as a service company that distributes business software on a subscription basis. That's what I've been telling you, on a rental basis, on a prepaid basis. And it's best known for its CRM products, but companies these days are also coming to understand the power of the Forge.com platform, which is one of the, as I told you, which is one of the most powerful platforms. They're also coming to understand this, the power of the Forge.com platform. To tell you more about the company, it was started by Mark Benioff in the year 1999, and currently it has more than 3 million clients across the world. And as you can see, these are the major clients of Salesforce, like Dell, Citibank, Canon, Qualcomm, Cisco. They are all using Salesforce to run their everyday business. Okay, and as you can see, since 2005-2006, there's a steady increase in the demand for Salesforce. That means, why do you think there's a steady increase in the demand for Salesforce? The reason is that's the time, 2005-2006 is the time when people have come to understand the power of cloud computing. So, and obviously they're choosing Salesforce compared to any other cloud computing service provider because it's in the market since 13 years. It's time proven, right? So that's the reason there's a steady increase in the demand for Salesforce, and it's not decreasing. I mean, till now it hasn't decreased. It's going up day by day. As I told you, I mean, in the previous slide, I've shown you some advantages of cloud computing. The integration capability of Salesforce is one of the biggest advantage. So as you can see, there is the old logo and there is a new logo of Salesforce, and as you can see, Salesforce can be integrated with any of these applications that you see here, like Oracle, SAP, Microsoft, or any of these, Google, Facebook, Twitter, or any applications that you see here. Okay. And the best thing is, for any of these integrations, you don't have to write a single line of code. For everything, there is a third-party toolkit or plugin using which you can use some point-and-click functionalities and establish a connection between these applications, say Salesforce and SAP. Okay, and because as you know, integration is a two-way communication. Data can be sent from Salesforce to SAP and back from SAP to Salesforce. And because integration has become so easy using third-party toolkits, people are not just integrating; they are completely migrating. It's a one-way shift from from traditional systems to Salesforce. Okay. So we'll be seeing the integration feature as well in the regular classes. Now coming to the security features, I won't be going in depth with this because it deals with the infrastructure hardware related topics. Okay, but to give you a brief introduction, the data that we store on your the Salesforce servers is surrounded by 5 levels of security: database, host, network, physical, and operational. And Salesforce is so sure that even the first level security cannot be breached. Okay. And for your information, Salesforce maintains 6 data centers across the world. 1 in Singapore, 3 in USA. There's 1 opened in London recently, and there's 1 in Japan. Okay. So it maintains 6 locations. Okay, and Singapore is for this Asia Pacific region. So if someone from India is a Salesforce a client, his data will be stored in the Singapore data center. And for your information, Salesforce maintains 3 copies of our data. So there's a backup production data center as well. So that means, so if in a traditional system, if you store any data on your system, on your hard drive or on your server, it maintains only 1 copy of data, and if the server crashes, everything is lost. But here, Salesforce maintains 3 copies of data. So even if the first one is lost, there's a backup of 2. But even losing the first one is a very rare event. It doesn't happen. And to give you more information about the servers that they maintain, they're all seismic proof, fireproof, and flood proof. Okay, so the data that we store on the Salesforce server are very what we call secure. So, but if you want more information about this, just go into Google and type Salesforce security, and it will give you complete information about the servers they maintain. Now, coming to the technologies behind the success of Salesforce. So it is very important to understand the technologies that are behind the success of Salesforce, right? So the most important one is the multi-tenant architecture. Okay. So if you split this word, multi is many, tenant is people using the services on a rental basis. So Salesforce maintains this multi-tenant architecture, because of which, as you can see, all the users and apps use the same instance. Same instance is nothing but same version. Unlike in a traditional system, where, say, for example, I'm using SAP CRM 5 today, and there's a 6th version released tomorrow, what happens? I have to go to the market, buy the software, and upgrade my system, right? But it's not mandatory. I can stay on 5, and some others can go into upgrade to 6. Okay. But what happens when I want to test their application or they want to test my application? There's a compatibility issue between both the versions, right? But in cloud computing, because everything is coming through a cloud, a central location called internet, okay. Or say for example, there are million users across the world who are using Salesforce. All the million users will automatically be updated with the latest version of Salesforce. I don't even have to click on the upgrade button. Automatically, yearly there are 4 editions released, and everyone will be updated automatically. So what happens here? The compatibility issue is eliminated, and there are a lot more other advantages because of this. Okay, it's like, I give you the simplest example for this multi-tenant architecture is like imagine an apartment with multiple occupants, okay, but using the common resources like laundry service, the watchman service. So they are using common services, but they have their own privacy in their own apartment. So that is nothing but a multi-tenant architecture, which will be explained in detail later. Okay. Then we have Apex and Visualforce. Okay. So first of all, I'll explain you Visualforce. Okay. So Salesforce has its own standard interface. Okay. It has its own standard look and feel. But the client says, no, I don't want this standard interface. I want my own custom interface, a custom logo, a custom logic, a custom button on the interface. So you will be most of the things can be done configured on the standard interface, but if there's something that cannot be achieved on standard interface, you will be creating a custom interface using the Visualforce tags. So this Visualforce is very similar to HTML tags. Starts with HTML, ends with HTML, right? HTML. So Visualforce starts with Apex page and ends with /Apex page. So the best thing about this Visualforce is that between this Visualforce tags, you can add CSS, HTML, HTML5, jQuery, JavaScript, Ajax, anything, and it will understand. So if you know any of these web developing technologies, they can be used within this Visualforce and you can develop very dynamic custom interfaces. Okay. And then coming to Apex, it's one of the object-oriented programming language on-demand. It's one of the on-demand programming language developed by Salesforce, which is used to write the custom logic behind these custom interfaces. So Visualforce is going to be the custom front end, and Apex is going to be the custom logic behind this interface. Okay. So anyone with .NET or Java experience or knowledge will be able to grasp this Apex very easily. But even if you don't have any experience or knowledge, I'll be teaching you from the basics. Okay. Right. Then you have sites, which is another technology of Salesforce, using which you can create instant public websites. Okay. And the best thing is they are directly integrated with your backend application. So if you enter any data on your application, it can be instantly shown on your website. And it's not mandatory. You can restrict, you can decide what information should be shown on the website and what should not be shown. So that can be controlled. But the best thing is, I'll tell you what the difference between this site and this traditional website is. Using in a traditional website, if you design a website, you also have to think about buying a domain space, right, and additional charge. But in Salesforce, because you are already paying for the license of the force.com platform, you don't have to buy any domain space again. The force.com platform will act as your domain to host your websites. So you can create instant websites and host them instantly and integrate them with your backend application instantly. So it's very easy to develop websites using this sites technology. So the technology within the sites is nothing but Visualforce. You will be creating using the Visualforce tags to create websites and assign them to sites. Okay. Then you have Salesforce Mobile, which is another advantage and the technology behind the success of Salesforce. So Salesforce Mobile is a mobile application. As you can see, you have an application here. It's an app available for Windows, iPhones, Blackberries, and Androids. It's a free application that can be downloaded onto your mobile device. You need to make some configuration on the force.com platform, and any application that is developed on your desktop or your laptop can also be accessed on your mobile device. But remember, it is not for developing the application, but using the application as an end user. Okay, so we'll be spending a lot of time on this as well, mobile integration as well. But another advantage of this Salesforce mobile application is that it will work both online and offline. Even if you don't have internet connection, it will accept data, but as soon as you come into the internet zone, the data will be updated on the cloud. Okay. Now coming to the summary of what I've been telling you till now, on the force.com platform, basically you can create unlimited real-time customization. Create unlimited objects, fields, tables, anything unlimited. Okay, there's no restriction that you cannot do this or that. Okay. So we'll be this is the basic. Okay, on the first day I'll be explaining what is. These are all general terms like objects, fields, relationships, and all those things. But this will be our first class. I'll show you how to create this kind of things. Okay. Now coming to the real-time security model. Say for example, you want to create this kind of role hierarchy for your organization to assign different levels of security for different levels of people. In a traditional system, it takes a lot of time, but in Salesforce, it is part of point and click rules. So for your information, Salesforce, most of the functionalities on the force.com platform are standard point and click. But if there is something that is not part of the point and click, you will be using Apex and Visualforce, as I told you. Okay. But to create this kind of role hierarchy for your organization, it hardly takes 2 or 3 minutes for me to create this kind of role hierarchy using the security model, okay, which is very easy to create. Then you have the most powerful feature of the force.com platform, which is workflows and approvals. So the best thing is, again, they are part of the point and click rules. That means you don't have to write any code. Everything is ready-made. Choose the criteria, set the criteria, save it, and you will be able to create workflow. So what is a workflow? Workflow is one of the business logic engine where if you set a criteria, you will be setting a criteria, and whenever that criteria is met, automatic emails, automatic field updates, automatic tasks. So basically your application will be automated using the workflows and approvals. Okay, the best thing, part of the point and click rules. Again, as I told you about the mobile deployment, develop it once, develop it once and access it from anywhere, anytime, from any device, like Blackberries, Android, iPhones, Androids, and recently even Windows Mobile has got this application. I'm stressing about this mobile deployment or mobile development because people have stopped using desktops and laptops these days. They are mostly into smartphones and tablets. So mobile integration is one of the most crucial requirements these days for any project. Again, I told you about the websites, create instant websites and host them instantly on the force.com platform. Okay. And recently, on November 27, 2012, couple of, I think, 5 months back, Salesforce has reached 1 billion transactions per day. A transaction is nothing but anything, any activity on the force.com platform. It has reached 1 billion per day and it is increasing. And it has almost doubled since the previous year. In 2011, it was 623 million transactions per day, but now it has, on 27th, it has reached 1 billion. So it is just to show you the increasing number of users, admins, and developers on this force.com platform. The demand is going up and up. Okay. And say the force.com platform is processing 1.3 trillion records per month, 3 billion lines of Apex code, 2 million custom objects, and value 1 million workflow. Again, it is something related to the previous slide to show you the increasing number of developers and users across the world. And this is not an updated slide, but it was created a couple of weeks back. Currently, there are 8 lakh developers, certified developers across the world, but in matter of months, it has reached 13 lakhs. So 5 lakh new developers have come up in the market since last 3 to 4 months. Okay. And already, as you can see, 2.5 million apps have been developed on the force.com platform. These slides are just to show you the increasing popularity of the force.com platform. Every company is moving into Salesforce. Again, comparing a traditional system, in a traditional system such as .NET or WebSphere, where it takes months and years to build an application because you have to think about a lot of things, security, whatever, sharing rules, workflows, and everything. It just takes days and weeks to build the same application on the force.com platform. So obviously, any client, any customer will choose the force.com platform because anytime they want to save their money, they want to save their time. Right? The average development time per app in a traditional system is 27. In the force.com platform, it's 11. Number of apps developed annually, 3 in traditional, 10 in force.com platform. So it's a huge percentage saving in terms of time and effort. Okay. And coming to the cost, on the force.com platform, it's almost 50% less than the traditional system because you are not going to maintain any infrastructure. Coming to the jobs, by 2015, they're expecting 14 million cloud computing jobs across the world. And the best thing is 7 million are going to be in this Asian region, India, China, Japan, and Singapore. Okay. And it's increasing. And as you can see, since 2008, there's a 365% increase for cloud computing developers. Right. Before you ask me any queries, general or technical queries, I want to tell you my method of teaching. During the class, I'll be introducing you to a concept or a topic, and immediately I'll be applying that on a project. So by the end of the course, we will be having a fully functional application, a project developed. And the best thing, it's not just one project, we will be working on at least 2 to 3 projects by the end of the course. Okay. And obviously, BASP is going to provide its own customized training material to all the students. And other thing is, during the class, I'll be pinpointing you the most important certification questions and the interview questions. So once the course is completed, you can spend some 2 to 3 weeks for your preparation, and you can very confidently go and attempt your certification, or you can start applying for the interviews. Okay. So complete guidance will be provided regarding the force.com platform, regarding the certification and the interviews. Okay. So all other information, any other information, general information, if you need to contact BASP. They will be providing the